love him or hate him. Chavez has set this up in Venezuela. Cuba does it. I mean, this is classical, as bad as it gets, the most stinking tyranny. And I wanted to nexus that in with a story from Infowars.net. Steve Watson, January 30th of this year, 2 months ago, Defense Department announces civilian expeditionary force. And we've got a link to the bill there. Excuse me, not bill. It nexuses with the bill to the Defense Department Directive 140410. Defense Department Directive 140410. Management retains the authority to direct and assign civilian employees, either voluntary or involuntary, or on an unexpected basis to accomplish DoD missions domestically or internationally. And it says that you will be forced to deploy. So there you have it, exactly what they said they were going to do decades ago. It's now happening. Bob Chapman, I mean, you were in military intelligence. You fought in the Cold War. You were over in Berlin, before you got into private business and publishing, things like none dare call it conspiracy. I mean, if people don't recognize this as the most virulent, certified tyranny, can you explain to people historically what this means? I mean, they're still calling it a rumor, and the bill has passed the House on its way for sure passage, they're saying, in the Senate.
It's the beginning of tyranny, as people have read about it, that occurred in all the places you've mentioned just now. And the plans are being put in place. How long will it take? I think maybe, a year from this summer. And I'll tell you why. Unemployment will be about 22% this year, and by the end of the year. And I don't think that's enough to get people cranked up fully. And so I think going into the following year, sometime during 2010, the riots and demonstrations are going to be happening in America in a big way. And I may be off my timing, but things always take a little bit longer than you think they're going to. But their whole movement, their whole plan is moving forward. And timeline, I expect real trouble next year.
Can you imagine they're saying 1 million goons in one of these 6 corps alone? 1 million power-tripping 20-year-olds with guns. I mean, they're saying they're going to arm them, running around, bossing everybody, taking over the cities and counties. I mean, this is hellish.
Well, if they do things that they're not supposed to do, they're going to get killed. It's pretty simple. There's 40 million ex-servicemen out there and ladies. And they all know how to shoot straight. And these young people are no match for them. It's as simple as that. And they're going to get wiped out. I mean, even if they threw the military and law enforcement in, they might be able to garner 3 or 4 million people. Against 40 million? Many who have served in combat? No, I don't think so. And the way that ammunition is leaving the shelves in the stores, they're obviously loaded for bear.
Well, that's my next question for you. Folks, I would love nothing more than to believe Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh are good guys, but these are the people that said no New World Order exists. Ron Paul supporters are terrorists. He was following last year, only about 13 months ago, show after show, the federally issued, MIAC type reports. And I said he's following a federal demonization script. I mean, this is what I do. This is all I do, folks. I know what it is. I know what it is when I see it. If I see a coral snake on my back porch or a water moccasin, I know what it is, too. Okay, I see a snapping turtle, in a pond I'm about to jump into. I don't jump on top of the snapping turtle. I know what this is, okay? And now he comes up, I'm your friend, I'm fighting the New World Order, but I'm not sure if it exists or if forced service exists. And, I think we do need these MIAC reports, but it's kind of mean to say that gun owners are bad, too, but you can trust me. But, by the way, Al-Qaeda's about to get us. But the mere fact that Limbaugh covered the MIAC report, they're all covering. A week after I cover it, they cover it here. And I've talked to folks in these organizations. They admit they're watching everything we do here. And they're trying to pose as if they are the voice of the people to get the population's trust so that a key time like Benedict Arnold, they can stick a knife between our ribs.
Well, that's absolutely correct.
But doesn't that signify that we are winning the hearts and minds in a big way, that the guns are being sold out, the ammo's being sold out, that liberty issues are now the hottest thing and growing exponentially?
And we got to keep right on doing it. And it's not only for Americans. These broadcasts go all over the world. And we got to let everybody else know out there that the people who are running your governments are cooperating for the most part with the people who are running ours and the governments in Europe, et cetera. And when the time comes, you got to remove them.
Well, it's clear the criminals running the planet are going for broke. I mean, they've committed so many crimes, and there's so much dirt on them that they've got to bring in a total tyranny or they're going to jail.
At best. Most of them are old enough, once they get in, they'll never get out.
Well, another thing's happening, Bob. Even upper echelon technocrats and functionaries of the elite are speaking out genuinely against what's happening. There's even large sectors of the nouveau riche and the upper crust of the nouveau riche that are realizing now, that they're not going to be protected either, that this tyranny, might have been fun a few years ago, but this is for real. This isn't a game. Would you like to speak to them?
All I can say to you is you have been useful in the climb to the top, so to speak, by those who are controlling things. And don't think you'll be protected. They will reject you out of hand. It's just like someone who comes from the other side, spies for you, and when they go to attack, they put you in the front. It's the same thing. All you're doing is going to end up absorbing economic bullets, so to speak. And that means that they'll be pointing the finger at you, upper middle class. Let you take the lump, so to speak. But that only happened for so long. And once the system breaks down, we're going to get to the people who are doing this, and they've been doing it for centuries, and we know who all of them are.
Well, that's a good point.
And they're not going to get away. I mean, half the population of the world could die in what we're facing right now. That's a distinct possibility. And they're not going to get away.
Now, that's what's amazing about it. But you hit on a key point there, that the elite always eat their own, and that a lot of people that have been serving this system knowingly are in for a very, very rude awakening. Bob Chapman, what are a few other brief solutions politically? I mean, folks should be spreading the word right now about the New World Order. Obviously, people's minds are open to it now. What are some of the other things folks should be doing right now to try to lessen this calamity that we're already entering?
Well, I don't think there's much we can do about bringing it to a halt. And we can do the things you've talked about. Also, telling everybody about the Federal Reserve, what it does, and what a bunch of bad guys they are. Everybody knows that even though they voted for these people, the people in Congress are all paid off except for perhaps 15%, and 10 of that 15% have private lives that compromise them. And you're not going to get anything done anymore through the system. We have two-tier courts, and, you have guys like Madoff who spend several months in their home, their luxurious home, while they're waiting for charges. No one has told us yet where all the money went. Nobody has told us yet who was involved. There had to be hundreds of people involved in this thing. I've been in finance for 50 years. I know what it takes to do things. And so this evolutionary process is going to go on, and all of a sudden the plug will be pulled. And I think that's 2 to 3 years away. But they got to get a wider war going. And I noticed that they're sending additional troops into Afghanistan. It was 40,000, the number I saw?
Yeah, first it was going to be 18, then 30, now 40. Now Obama's saying he may put 80,000 U.S. troops with other NATO and UN troops. This was the AP headline yesterday, for a total of 400,000 troops in Afghanistan by next year.
Well, that means they're going to go invade Pakistan, and they'll probably balkanize it based upon tribes. and they'll probably go into Bangladesh and maybe even India. This is, you go back to the writings in the early 80s of Zbigniew Brzezinski, and it's all laid out. I mean, that's how I found out about it.
No, that's the thing. These people all write books and bragging what they're going to do 20 years before. He just wrote one last year bragging about all this. We read it to people on air, and they still don't believe it, Bob. I broke the MIAC report. We pushed the story big on the gun confiscation drills in Iowa. I still have people claiming all that's a lie, while AP and Reuters cover it, giving us no credit for what we broke, and I don't even care about that. The issue is I am just sick of people living in denial.